Hello everyone, P from 41 here. So here we have a Big Dog Stout Zero-turn lawnmower. This is essentially a rebranded Huslter Fastrak. This is the Craigslist Zero-turn. If you don't know what that is, I'll put a link down below if you want to see the backstory on this lawnmower. But today we're focusing on replacing the front caster wheel bearings. Why are we replacing the bearings? Well, this is why. They're just kind of flopping around in there. At this point, I think the bearings exist more in theory than anything else. So we're going to be putting some new ones in. Shouldn't be too difficult. First thing we need to do is just pull that bolt out, and then we'll find out if the bearings are going to just completely fall apart. I've seen my share of bad bearings, but this is something else. Look at that. The race just falls right out. There's nothing holding it in. There's absolutely nothing in there. There's nothing in this one either. It has no balls. They're just gone. Nothing left. And for those of you wondering, yes, these are greasable bearings. Well, that answers the question of why they were so loose. Most of the bearings have vacated the premises voluntarily, but we still got some stragglers. The outer races are still pressed into the wheel. That's actually a good thing because it means that our wheel has not been damaged. So to get those out, first we're using a few 4x4s to support the wheel so that we can pound the race on the other side of the wheel out. We're going to be using a drift and a hammer. Now, unfortunately, because most of the bearing is missing, there's not much of a lip for us to grab onto when we're pounding out the outer races. So this might take a few tries, but they should come out. So just gonna stick that in there. We're gonna angle it to get on the lip of the outer race on the other side, and just pound it with the hammer. Like I said, there's not much to grab onto here. And there it goes. There's one race. Now I'll flip it over, do the other side. And there's the other. Alright, race is out. Now, as you can see, because these were greasable bearings, the inside is full of grease, which is old and nasty and contaminated. Now, regardless of whether you install greaseless or greasable bearings, we need to get that old grease out so it does not contaminate our new bearings. Have I ever mentioned how much I hate cleaning grease out of stuff? Because I do. It's one of my least favorite things. So I got all the old nasty grease cleaned out of there, ready to put the new bearings in. So these are the bearings I'm going to be using. These are made by HD Switch. You can get these off eBay, Amazon, and I'm sure a few other places. At first glance, these look like they might be shielded bearings, but they are in fact sealed bearings. They're just a little bit heavier duty design from the normal rubber sealed bearings, and these are meant to be run without being greased. If you want to try to grease them, you should be able to get some grease in there to pass the seal and lubricate the bearing, but personally I don't think it's going to be necessary. So I'm just going to set that in there, right there, get it as straight as possible. And to drive this in, I'm going to be using a 1 1/8 inch socket. This should fit nicely onto the flange and allow me to drive it in. You're going to want to make sure we get that bearing as straight as possible, and then just tap it in. Alright. Alright, and it's in. So we just need to do the other side, and then we'll be ready to put it back on to the lawnmower. The wheel is now reinstalled on the mower. There is a bit of wear in the bolt from the old bearing, and as a result there is a tiny bit of play on one side, so I'll probably need to get a new bolt at some point. But even so, it is 10 times better than it was before. Significantly less play, and of course the wheel spins nice and smooth, no problems at all, and that is very important for proper tracking on a zero-turn mower. So that's going to do it for this video. Parts will be listed in the description. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. If you're interested in more videos of this mower, the links for that will be down in the description as well. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them down below.